Hello everybody, welcome back to another Monster Hobbies video. My name is Trevor Selescu and I am the owner of Monster Hobbies. Today's video I'm going to be talking about whatever happened to. So how many of you people watching this video are some of my early customers who visited us when we first moved from the Blackfoot Flea Market into High River for the first time way back? This is about 2005. We moved into Unit 107, 2A Avenue, back in the alley. Remember that? Those great, crazy days? Well, remember I had that big castle in the back of the store? It was 1/72nd scale. It was a Zebsta castle, and I had built it from pieces that I bought from various hobby shops. It wasn't a proper castle kit, but it was bits and pieces that I put together. Made a good castle, actually. And we carried that castle from 2A Avenue into our second store, which was on 3rd Avenue there. But how many people remember that and maybe asking, well, whatever happened to it? Because I don't have it in my current store now. Well, this video, we're actually going to look at that castle and see where it is at this point. In case you don't remember what the castle looked like, I've actually got a video of it that we used in the Monster Hobbies Hobby Corner series. And it looks exactly like this video playing now. And that's how our castle looked when we originally last saw it. So the story of what happened to the castle actually happened in 2012-ish, 2013. We weren't really using the castle very much in the store for war games or whatever. So I had taken the castle and I moved it up on a high shelf in the store just to get it out of the way and keep it safe. Well then, one fateful day, we got the High River flood of 2013, which brought 5 feet of water into the store and completely devastated the town. And this is what the carnage in Monster Hobbies was like. You can see it's pretty awful. Well, anyway, the castle was still up, and we had got 5 feet of water throughout the store, but the castle was sitting about 7 feet up on a shelf. So, risking my life, because the carpet, there was a lot of carpet in the store, and it got soaked, and with the pressure of the water and everything, it buckled up the carpet everywhere. And I had wargaming tables, and they floated around in the building and then resettled down. But they were on this lumpy carpet. So I actually had to risk my life and get on one of these tables that was just all like, you know, and rescue this castle. So I took the castle down and I carefully got it out of there without breaking anything. And of course, everything was in a disaster mode. So we took all the stuff from the store that we could salvage and we brought it back home to the house. And I had taken the castle and I put it on top of one of my cars in the backyard, just to kind of get things out of the way. Well, unfortunately, 2 days later, we got a huge hailstorm. And the hailstorm had hail things that were that big, really. And they punctured through the castle and destroyed it in many pieces. And it was really sad because I had risked my life to get this castle, and then 2 days later it got destroyed by another event, a hailstorm in High River. So now let's see the condition of this castle. All right, so here we have this big Rubbermaid container, and by pulling off this blanket you shall see the big reveal. Yes, unfortunately this is what is left of the castle. I have this nice little turret here, but somewhere I lost that nice roof that this thing has from the video, that tall spired type roof, but I still have that piece. And these are all the roof pieces for the round towers, of course, and I was able to save the gate and a bunch of the doors, of course a log, our little gate here. So that's not too bad, I suppose. Right, move move that out of the way. Now I think what I'll do is I'll just move this and bring the pieces up. So here is the house from the castle, and as you can see it, the floor got demolished down there, of course falling through. This has been sitting out in the tub, actually, in the backyard since the high river flood. So it is quite dirty. It actually feels gritty to touch. The glue mark here is for that little turret piece. I think I'll find it later here. But anyway. And look, I made some nice stained glass windows back in the day. That's clear plastic from model railroad set, and then I painted in the little squares and added in some color and whatnot. But yeah, there's quite a bit of something. And then there's this weird fluff on here. Yeah, that got quite destroyed. And the roof for the building, the chimney stacks got busted off. Not quite sure how that worked. And I also noticed it's kind of curved in a bit here along these edges. So it doesn't quite fit like she used to. But that's okay, I can always support that somehow inside. Now, let's see here. Yeah, here's a prime example of the hail damage. So this was sitting out here and the hail came down and bounced, but it broke this floor right out. The top of the turrets come out, but look at this one here. The hail punctured this right through. It's like someone took a ball-peen hammer to it. In fact, on the Oldsmobile, my car at home, there's a golf ball size welt right in the curve of the roof on one of the harder points. I don't know how the hail actually did that, but it did it. But yeah, look at that busted floor. I don't know how I'm going to correct this, really. If you guys know of a good way, write it in the comments below. Maybe I can just force it. It's jagged though, like a knife. Cuts like a knife. Anyway. Okay. This was the side gatehouse thing. Of course you can see it just shattered this to pieces. It's really sad too, because you know, you spend so much time building these things and you think they're going to be good forever, and then boom! Oh yeah, this little piece here, I cut a door into the tower on the wrong side so the enemy would be able to get in. So I glued a piece of Plastruct brick tile over top of this just to cover up the door hole back there. Wish I had some more of that, could fix some of this up. But again, there's some of that weird fluff again. And there was some metal in the top of this tower. That's why this rust is in here. Really odd. Cut some doorways into the lower wall here so that guys can get in and go up the invisible stairs. I don't know if that's quite the right thing. But anyway. Okay, then I've got this back wall here that pretty much stayed intact, except for, of course, the hail broke the floor right out of this. And the inner sidewall and all that. Now here you can see that I've actually cut a wall in a little section here and glued it. Come on, camera. Glued it right on there. See? Because, well, I'll show you when I reassemble this roughly as to what it used to be. There's some more of the components of the castle, the extra missing doors and two of the chimney stacks. Anyway, I really do like this castle. It's pretty cool, even if it's destroyed. Oh yeah, there's one of the walls again, broke to pieces from the hailstorm. And then the gatehouse, which the back wall blew up and the floor in here broke. And when the floor broke, it also broke the pulley mechanism down there. So that, oh yeah, the pulley was back here actually, toward the back end, because there's the winder for it. This is going to be an interesting one to try to repair, although I can, see there, I can drill a metal rod through there and then redo it that way. But it broke off one of these things that holds the gate in place, and also broke off the pin for the drawbridge actually. The drawbridge is sitting like that. Goes up and down when you wind the little thing on the side. Now these Zvezda castles are made in Russia, but I don't know if they're still in production. I looked at my wholesaler's list of stuff I can get. They only have one left, so I don't know. And Zvezda had a whole bunch here at one point in time. There's the little thing that went on the back of the house. Right there. I had this glued on. Sort of like a little defense along the back. Alright, now I'm going to put this castle together as it was, and we'll see what it looks like. Here's how the castle looks when it's all back together. Well, more or less. But yeah, you can really see the damages here. The busted through floors, the broken off top of the building. Back there. The missing doors and everything that's in here. Pretty sad state of affairs for the castle. But what can you do? Yeah, this was a feature I was going to show you guys. The piece of wall that I cut, because this house here is actually a little bit shorter than a wall section. So this should really be coming out to there. And that's a natural wall there, and that's natural wall length there. But this one needed that little bit of extension out, so I had to saw a wall down in order to do that. And here's the remaining castle pieces that were all broken up. There's the 4 chimney stacks, one of the floors that I made. This floor over here got completely just chipped and broken from that hailstorm. Then of course a bunch of the hinges broke off the doors. You know, I'm missing the other door for that. There's some of the walls and the pieces. This is one of the tower floors that got punched out in the hailstorm. And of course the square tower floor, which also broke right through. And these are parts of the wall. Actually, I think these are the floors. Yeah, these are the floor tops. And again, just total devastation from a hailstorm, believe it or not. Went to go rescue this thing from the flood, no problem. 2 days later, hailstorm. Now there is some hope to restoring my old castle here. A friend of mine actually gave me this one. This is a kit that he got, I guess for his son, and his son didn't really show any interest in it, or built it, but something happened. So this is basically what I got here. Of course, this is what I should build here. Big monstrous maze of a castle. Anyway, so we've got the round towers, which are all assembled in the 90-degree style. So one wall coming out here and the other out there. It's got the 4 towers and his gatehouse thing, which is actually glued solid in the chain there. So I'm going to have to pop the top off this. But the rod is in good condition. It's just got glued in solid somehow. There's another one of those little things. And this drawbridge actually has both of the pins still on it. So maybe I can muck around a little bit there. And the little bits for the gate to slide in and out of. And yeah, as you can see, the towers and everything are all in good shape, as are the pre-built wall sections. I don't even have to glue these together. It came pre-built, just sand it up here a little bit, make that more flush, and then glue these guys together. And now here's that Zvezda castle in its full castle-y glory, except for the capped roofs. I'm just not showing those in this video. But anyway, yeah, as you can see, it's fairly basic. There's the gatehouse, and you've got two walls separating from the round towers. Then along the back, you've got three of those walls, and it's only two walls deep this way. So it's basically a rectangle. And here's a size comparison of our two castles, this of course being the one that I built here, and this being the out-of-the-box one that my friend's person built. Not sure who he is, but you can see the difference in scale to this. The house and the walls back there equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 across the back, whereas this is just 3 in the middle sort of thing. But what I'm thinking of is using parts from this castle, maybe breaking this apart and coming up with a whole new castle. And of course here's the castle looking at from the other angle, from the smaller castle, which is more like a little fortress actually than the bigger castle. Now of course when I was looking through my basement I came across this, which is a model kit for the Zvezda castle. It's an extension piece that I bought but never really used, and luckily I got it because, as you can see, these are two castle walls that were never built. So I can build them and I extend the castle out by one more wall section, of course one on each side. And then the other thing I had in the basement was this. Now it's a box for the living quarters, but what's really in here is of course all the instruction sheets, because I never threw those out, the box for the tower, and then I've got some of the flags and whatnot that I didn't use, and the box tops, some doors from a different thing. But at any rate, these are kind of cool because they give you the strength of the walls and this sort of thing. This is for the game that they had. Okay, so moving that out of the way, we get into the goodies here in the stone tower box. If I can get this open. These are all my spare parts. And of course I've got the windows. Here. So I can replace all the ones that were broken and or missing. So that's a good thing. And there's the wooden beam to lock your doors with. Yeah, I'm only just missing that one door. And then here I've got the rest of that little tower thing, but it's missing a roof, which is unfortunate. It's got a quarter roof. The wall that I cut down, oh, there's a half roof there. And then the floor. The only downside to these castles is Zvezda didn't make one big solid floor in case you wanted to have like a half building or whatever. So they used these sort of T-bar things. And unfortunately it tends to make the plastic go like this. And it's really apparent on the house, the living quarters along the walls. But yeah, then all the other pieces in here are the actual little locks and keys that would normally go in here. So that's what these things are. Those guys. So I do have replacements for those. So again, it wouldn't be too hard to rebuild that old castle. And before I forget, this is the final piece for my Zevsda castle set. This is a bridge, believe it or not, and it's really weird because in the picture of this thing on the box, this comes down in more of a graceful curve, but in the model kit, this is a ramp, and nothing, and I mean nothing, wants to stay positioned on that ramp without sliding off. Yeah, and see, here is a combination of the two castles. Now I've got two gatehouses and a longer wall section back there, as well as lengthen this up. That's a broken wall section there, but I'm not going to bust it off for the video here. Yeah, so there's a longer rectangle. I could also break it and go deeper, make this more square. Yeah, it all depends. I don't know. What do you think I should do for castle design? Let me know in the comments below. So here's a concept of marrying the two castles together. Now pretend this isn't here, this gatehouse over here, or drawbridge area over here, because that wouldn't happen. They would have one of these little wall sections, which would be sitting right here. So let's just say that's a wall. But here's the idea. So the enemy comes in, they grab that chain and knock it over. No, the enemy comes in and they got a battering ram, right? So with the castle being having the drawbridge up, you know, let's just say, so they're able to bust through there, and they come running in here. Now they're into this inner court area, and they'd have to turn the battering ram around 90 degrees to break through this door here. Well, that's very awkward and hard to do. Now I know with the Zevsda castle this isn't quite getting represented well, because this area is pretty big and so is this area. But the way to make this work would be to cut the walls down so that the tower or the gatehouse here is closer to these turrets. And then this would be really tight in here. So now you're looking at a narrower entrance, so that they can't swing the battering ram around to go through that door. And that's actually a good castle defense system. Not only that, but as soon as the guys come running in here, your archers could peck them off from these tower tops. So this could be a concept. I'm not too sure. What do you think? Write below in the comments. Here's another configuration that could kind of work here. You have this. I took the house out and I flipped it the other way. It seems to fit better than going long ways, so I wouldn't have to cut that little section in there. But again, this way, there's the gatehouse here with the battering ram. I don't know, maybe this would be replaced with the wall, actually. So okay, so that gets replaced with a wall, or maybe even a tower. Hee. Okay, there we go. So now you have a defensible position here, and well, this kind of defeated the purpose again. But anyway, the guys break this down with the battering ram. They would have enough room to actually get in here and swing it this way, come in here, but you do have this defendable position. So yeah, actually maybe with the gatehouse there, and then the spare tower here instead. Tower! There. So, actually that's kind of cool looking. So anyway, okay, there'd be the gatehouse here, or maybe this could be a second thing. And you got your peasant village in here. So this is almost like a Moat and Bailey type without this thing being way up on the Bailey there. This is all in one level. But yeah, so you'd have your peasants here. Peasants! As they say in Mr. Bean. Or Blackadder. The peasants! Alright, anyway. The peasants are in here. So they build their houses and stuff along here. Blacksmith and whatever. But then you got this defendable position in here, right in the center. And then you got your where the Lord would live or whatever in this end. Again, defendable here and there and there. So I think this will be the last configuration I'll show you guys, because I could be doing this for hours and hours and make a 16-hour long video on this castle, but really there's no point. So there we go. Okay, sorry everybody, I lied, but I actually did figure out how to make this castle work using all my castle pieces. If I bring out these two turrets over here, using the remaining wall sections, and then I'd have to cut a wall in half for in here, I could have another little mini courthouse thing there, and then this uses up all the rest of the pieces. Actually, this doesn't look too bad, although it is one huge rectangle. The only problem with this model, unless of course I could, you know, saw these at funny angles, which could be complicated, but at any rate, this would be the last castle. So which one do you like the most? Let me know in the comments below. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video of whatever happened to the Monster Hobbies castle. And now that you know, you can see that we're going to try to start to rebuild it into a better castle for more fun. Well, hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and let's get this thing up to 100 likes with your help. I'd really appreciate it. And until next time, people, happy model building.